Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories within corporate filings. And today we've got a real doozy of merger that is about to shake things up. Before we dive in, if you like getting these complex financial documents broken down into simple English, make sure you subscribe. Also, our Discord community is growing fast and linked in the description below, so come join the conversation. So what is the big news? It looks like Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated is no longer flying solo. This report tells us about the completion of a big deal, a merger with IS Holdings Incorporated. Essentially, Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated is now part of IS Holdings Incorporated. All of this officially went down on the 16th of January, 2026. This filing is basically a heads up to everyone. A notification that a major event has occurred. It is filed under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, which is the rulebook for how public companies report significant happenings. Now, as part of this merger, Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated had to clear the decks, so to speak. They paid off all their outstanding debts under a secured promissory note. That is like closing out a big loan. They paid a hefty $17.8 million to Zurich American Insurance Company and Fidelity and Deposit Company of Maryland. This means that old loan agreement is officially done and dusted, and with that debt cleared, Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated is now, as the filing puts it, an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of IS Holdings Incorporated. Think of it like this ES Holdings Incorporated now owns the keys to Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated. Now for the juicy part for shareholders, what happens to the shares of Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated? Well, each share of common stock that was outstanding right before the merger happened was converted into cash. Specifically, shareholders get $12 in cash for every share they owned. This is the per share merger consideration. Any shares owned by EIS Holdings Incorporated or its subsidiaries, or shares held by Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated itself, were cancelled without any payment. That is pretty standard in these kinds of deals. It wasn't just regular stock that got converted. If you held restricted stock units, which are like promises of future stock, those also got converted into cash. For performance-based restricted stock units, they were treated as if the company had met its performance goals at the target level, which means they also converted into a cash payment. For the former directors who were not full-time employees, their restricted stock awards were cashed out immediately at the time of the merger. For the executive officers and other employees, their restricted stock units will continue to vest according to the original schedule. However, there is a catch. If their employment is terminated without cause by the new company, or if they leave for good reason within a year after the merger, those restricted stock units will fully vest. For the top two executives, the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Financial Officer, their awards are handled a bit differently based on their new employment agreements. These will generally vest over time according to their agreement terms, or earlier if there is a death or termination by the company. If they resign before their contract is up, they forfeit any unvested units. So, what does this mean for the stock itself? Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated's common stock was traded on the NASDAQ. But with this merger, that is all changing. The company has told NASDAQ that they want to stop trading the common stock. They've asked for trading to be suspended after the 16th of January 2026. And they're initiating the process to have the stock completely delisted from NASDAQ. This also means it will be deregistered under the Exchange Act. So basically, if you were a shareholder of Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated, your rights as a shareholder are now replaced with the right to get that $12. Per S here in cash, you no longer have a stake in the company as a shareholder. This merger definitely signifies a major change in control. Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated is now firmly under the wing of IS Holdings Incorporated. With the new ownership structure, there is also a change in leadership. All the existing directors of Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated have stepped down. Now, Matthew J. Sims, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of IS Holdings Incorporated, and Tracy A. McLaughlin, the Senior Vice President, Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer of IS Holdings Incorporated, are the new directors of the surviving company. It seems these changes happened smoothly and without any major disagreements. Finally, as part of this whole process, Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated's founding documents, its articles of incorporation and its bylaws have been updated and restated to reflect the new reality of being owned by IS Holdings Incorporated. So let's unpack this. Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated used to be its own independent company, trading on the NASDAQ. Now, it has been acquired by UIS Holdings Incorporated. Shareholders got a nice payout of $12 per share for employees and executives. Their stock options are now tied to cash payouts with some vesting triggers related to employment. The stock is being delisted. Looking at the broader picture, this merger signifies a consolidation in the industry. For Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated shareholders, it is a clear exit, a cash out event, the $12. Purse Hair offer represents the price Eyes Holdings Incorporated was willing to pay to gain control. The terminated debt shows a clean slate for the new combined entity. The leadership changes are expected and align the top positions with the new parent company. The main risk for remaining employees is job security, though there are some provisions to soften the blow if their roles are impacted. Overall, this is a pretty straightforward acquisition scenario, with the main story being the cash payout to shareholders and the integration into a larger entity. Alright, that is our breakdown of Gulf Island Fabrication Incorporated and UI's Holdings Incorporated's latest filing. What do you think about this merger? Is $12 a fair price for shareholders? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to join our growing community on Discord linked in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.